Okay, guys, so today we're going to talk about closing. Okay, closing is consisting of answering questions, removing risk, and ask the client to okay the paperwork. So this would be consisting about 5 to 10% of the whole listing presentation. So the first section of the closing, you want to ask for feedback, right? So usually what I ask the client is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident you are that I can get the job done for you. So this is a good way to gauge on how the client feel about your presentation and how the client feel about you. So let's say if the client is give you a 9 or 10, that means they're pretty comfortable with you. Then now the next thing you want to go through is ask them, do you have any questions? It's very important that you want to remove all their risk, because if you do not remove all their risk, they're not going to move forward. So that's very important. And so if they say they don't have any question, or if they ask any question, you re-answer the questions, and then you tell them when is a good time to take photo. So this is called assumed closing. So basically you just move on to the photo. If they have no objection, if they say okay, maybe then you ask when's a good time to take a photo, today or tomorrow, morning, afternoon, right? If they move along with it, then you can move on to the next step. So you explain how the whole process works, okay? So here's how the whole process works. So once we get the paperwork out of the way, then we're gonna take a photo and then we're gonna pre-market for maximum exposure, and then we're going to get more. This is how we're gonna get more offers for you and get the best price for you. So then after you explain the process, if they still have no objection, then you want ask them to okay the paperwork. You notice that I never say sign a contract or commitment, whatever. I never say any of this sensitive word. I never say sign, I never say contract, I just say okay the paperwork. So then in this section you want to recap the extra benefit for working. So basically you explain them. So I'm gonna recap all the extra benefits for working with us. So this is just a standard marketing agreement, and if you can okay the paperwork here, okay the paperwork there. And another thing you want to do is try to have them sign the price strategy form in advance. So for example, let's say if the market price is 500,000, if the client want to list the home at 550,000, then you want to have them to sign a pricing strategy form in advance, agreeing that, for example, let's say if the home does not sell in 2 weeks, they agree to reduce the price to 500,000. And you have them sign it right there. That way you don't have to ask them to reduce the price in a future time. You can just do it right away, right? Let's say if the client refuses to sign the paperwork, and then you got to make sure to remove all the risk, right? So we just talked about in the perfect scenario, that's how it's gonna work. Most of the time, it's not gonna be like that easy. That's why you want to memorize all the objection handler, right? You want to. That way, whatever objection the client have, you can answer the objection. So if they refuse to sign, then what you can say is interest is still low. So if you want to, if you want to sell the home for the best price, now is the best time, since the interest is still low. But keep in mind, interest has already started to increase. Once the interest increase, then you might not get this good price that you can get right now. So let's say if they still do not agree to sign, then you can tell them, hey, you don't need to sell if we do not get the price you want, right? And you're not obligated to pay me anything. You want to remove all the risk. You want to make sure that they understand that they don't owe you anything unless the home is sold, right? And also, let's say in the situation where if the seller they want to buy another replacement home, you can tell them, hey, if you do not need to sell if we do not find a replacement home for you. So basically you want to remove all their concern, right? You want to remove all their risk. Let's say if they say, I have another listing contract has not expired yet, what you can say is, we can future date the contract so that we can get the paperwork out of the way first. That way we can start to pre-market the home, right? So you can future date the contract. And also, if they still do not want to sign, you can offer them cancellation guarantee. Hey, I have this cancellation guarantee here. So if at any time you don't like what we do, or if you think whatever I just told you is not true, you can cancel anytime. You don't have to ask me for any cancellation paperwork. Let's say if they still do not agree, then you can say, we have a flexible commission plan. So this is just all the ways you can make sure they sign the paperwork. Let's say if they still do not agree, if they still do not agree, then you can tell them, if we move forward today, I can give you a discount. So you only say that if they absolutely do not want to sign. Okay, that's it. Okay, so and another one is a safe closing. Let me see, interest rate increase. So we talk about that, right? So you can tell them interest rate may increase and the home may not get a good price. They may lose money. For example, let's say if you charge transaction fee, you can tell them, if we move forward today, I can waive the transaction fee. Also, you can say promotional ends. We have a service promotion ending this week. So these are all the ways you can encourage them to sign the contract today. And or you can say, today we can offer you a special. If we move forward today, we'll give you a special. So these are all the ways you can make sure that they can sign a contract, because it's very important that you want to make sure they sign a contract right away on that day, because if you walk away, most likely you will not get the contract signed. Okay, until next time.